Hi, I'm Fraser Allen of ICLG.com. With me is Trip Chong, who is Director of Business Development and part of the executive leadership of the Class Actions team at Broadridge, which provides technology and operations, communications, data and analytics solutions for the financial services industry and businesses. Today, we're going to be speaking about the key role that technology and the management of data is increasingly playing in class actions, and the outlook for financial services class actions outside Europe. So my first question, Trip, is how can data help with the management of class actions?
Well, data underpins our global class action service at Broadridge. It allows us to deliver a comprehensive service to our clients and provides us with valuable industry intel, which ultimately will benefit our clients. Equally, having the right expertise, a robust information security and advanced technology are also key components to the management of class actions. So just to set the scene, Broadridge has identified over 1,000 active cases that are either pending settlement or have settled. So with more jurisdictions adopting legal mechanisms for class actions, this number will rise year on year. So class actions will continue to be filed and institutional investors will continue to be impacted. So it's now more important than ever to have a fully managed global class action service in place. So data in terms of managing class actions would probably fall into three categories. We have number one, data access, number two, data management, and number three, data interpretation. So as a starting point, having access to the data is obviously important. We're a global fintech and we have been providing services to financial institutions for over 50 years. We can leverage our existing relationships and connectivity with our global custodian clients to ensure that the data transition required for our class action service runs efficiently and, more importantly, in line with established InfoSec processes. And equally, due to the flexibility of our technology, we can transfer pretty much any data from any source. We also hold 10 years of historic trading data for each of our clients, which allows us to file proactively and capture all potential claims. So for example, some relevant class periods can go back 10 to 15 years. Right. So ensuring we've got the fullest data set possible, it's fundamental to ensure that we can file these claims accurately, and obviously they will then yield higher results. The second category is data management. So having the ability to manage this data so it's used in the most effective way to maximize our client recoveries. So at Broadridge, we rely on our in-house expertise and bespoke technology to house the data on secure platforms with the highest industry standard accreditation. It's obviously a non-negotiable for our clients and something that we take very seriously. It allows us to cleanse the data to ensure that all our data submissions used for the purposes of filing claims are complete and accurate, and also to meet the data requirements of the relevant settlement administrators or third parties. So we have associates within our class actions team with over 10 years claims administration experience. So I think this puts us in a unique position when understanding the requirements of the administrators and effectively enables us to audit the work of the administrators to ensure we are maximizing recoveries for our clients. And finally, the third category is data interpretation. Having the ability to understand and interpret the data is vital. We are now seeing more complex cases being filed, particularly on the antitrust side. These are complex financial instruments, some with hundreds of security identifiers and large data sets covering lengthy periods. And all of this requires analysis, understanding, preparation, and continuous management.
Excellent. I think we can very safely say that we can all see how strategic the need is for very large and, as you say, data sets that go back perhaps many, many years in planning forward many, many years in class actions. So thank you very much for that. My next question is, how can technology help with, connected to what you were saying there, with the recovery and collection of class action judgments?
So at Broadridge, we have a sophisticated technology at our core, paired with a global team of class action experts. And using intelligent bespoke technology enables us to automate many of our processes. and it allows us to track and monitor all global opportunities, file claims in predetermined formats on behalf of our clients, monitor all of the progress of the claims from start to finish, and undertake loss calculations to ensure our clients are receiving what they should be. It allows us to automate administrative processes like the opt-out settlements in the US, bringing accuracy and efficiency to the entire process. Using technology allows transparency, so our clients have full visibility of our processes through our dedicated client portal. And also, I think technology allows accessibility, so we're able to use our technology to monitor, file, and report any claim globally where our clients are impacted. We do recognise, however, that complete automation is not always appropriate, particularly as the investor landscape is now becoming more complex, and the fact that we monitor over 35 jurisdictions. So instead, for jurisdictions outside of North America, we can adopt more of a hands-on approach, which requires specific expertise. The use of our technology and direct client contact, I think, works very well.
Indeed, particularly interesting, the distinction between dealing with these matters in the US and the rest of the world, of course. My next question is, does all this data that you're gathering on class actions, does it reveal any trends in the way that class actions are being conducted or indeed settled?
Absolutely. I mean, we hold data for around 10,000 cases in our research manager, both historic and active. And we really recognise the value of this data, which we use for analytics and AI modelling. So we have the ability to use predictive modelling and forecasting for levels of payment and payment times. And all this information is really valuable for our clients, and we're able to share that information with them. And using this data that we house, we're now seeing correlations between the length of litigation and the size of the settlement. Litigation which is being brought in certain US district courts, for example, may settle sooner than some of the other courts. Again, this is something that we can use to forecast the settlement times and payment timelines. We're seeing volumes of cases continuing to rise. Obviously, there was a slight decline last year due to COVID, but we're also seeing larger individual case settlements. The types of cases are now changing. We're seeing more cases being brought in relation to cryptocurrency, cyber-related cases, and of course, COVID-19. The participation levels for antitrust cases, so the more complex financial instrument cases, are increasing, particularly for those investors that have a specialist provider in place. These cases require careful management and can often yield much higher payments than some of the securities cases. More cases now have an ESG angle. In fact, most of the cases filed outside of North America tend to have ESG considerations as their primary driver. And more jurisdictions are now coming online. We're seeing more competing actions, more actions that our clients have to consider. So all of this information, all of this data, we are able to use to enhance our service for our clients and provide them with this valuable information, enabling them to make informed decisions, which is all backed by data.
Indeed. Now, just going back to one of the points you mentioned there, that is financial services class actions. Can we expect to see more of these outside of Europe?
The short answer is absolutely. Recent legislative developments are now driving the expansion of more collective redress opportunities in more jurisdictions. Many cases that are filed in the US in relation to specific financial instruments are now also being filed in other jurisdictions. So we can definitely expect to see more of that and that trend to continue. Australia, as we know, is a well-established jurisdiction for class actions. We've already seen 63 cases filed this year, either consumer or securities. Now, there are some legal developments in terms of the regulation of litigation funding, and whilst this may have some influence on the number of cases being filed overall, it's unlikely to have a significant impact. APAC generally is making huge strides. Japan, Taiwan are both very active jurisdictions, and we expect cases to continue to rise. South Korea has recently expanded its collective redress laws. New Zealand, following their recent Feltex case, the Law Commission is now looking to implement a robust class action process. South America is now, again, very active. They're implementing arbitration cases, which many investors are now getting involved in. And also many non-US companies are subject to class actions, again, particularly ESG-related cases. They're driven by sort of breach of data privacy, money laundering, and environmental cases. So I think generally, as investors are becoming more engaged and more governance-focused, we expect the volume and participation levels to increase, keeping everyone in the industry very busy.
It sounds like everybody has the work cut out. That's for sure.
They do.
Well, thank you very much for talking with me today, Trip, and giving us some such interesting insights into these very important aspects of the class actions industry. I'm looking forward to you speaking at our Global Class Action Symposium on 16th, 17th November in London. So see you then.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.